What's going on, boys? It's Keg and Coop here to break down a little Sunday NASCAR in Phoenix Instacart 500. We got the chicken last week. We've been rolling. Coop, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much, man. Getting ready to watch some Xfinity and wrap up some golf here today, and we'll go from there. Got to finish up the playbook here this evening for the DFS side, and then we'll be ready to roll tomorrow.
So to recap last week, we did not get the chicken on Matty D to get into the top five, but we did get Kyle Larson home at 10-1 to win the race, and Keselowski snuck in the top five for us, and we got that home. And here we are. It's another week, Coop. Initial thoughts on what you expect this week from Phoenix?
Hopefully we see some great racing like we did last week in Vegas, man. It can't go without talking about, man. That racing last week in Vegas was great, man. Very rarely do you see the back and forth for the lead that we saw, and we saw a lot of it last week. So hopefully we get to see some more of that tomorrow in Phoenix. Track position is very, very important at this track. So you want to look at the people who are starting forward more so than back. And it's tough to lead and win races when you start outside the top 10. And
It's been a while since I have enjoyed a race as much as I enjoyed last week. The racing from start to finish was incredible.
Yeah, it was great, man. Like we said, we saw a lot of passing. And what really stuck out to me, like I said before, is we saw the passing for the lead, which is, much harder in NASCAR. Often you'll see, fifth and sixth place exchange often, 10th and 11th on back, so on and so forth. But, between first, second, third, and fourth, you don't see it that often. And what we saw last week was awesome. So hopefully, we can continue to build upon that. And I know here at Phoenix, the restarts can be wild because they use the apron of the track, and you'll have a couple drivers go down, and if you're new to it, you're probably like, what in the world are they doing? But it's quite common to see that, as you'll see throughout the race.
So another week, and another week that Hendrick Motorsports is clearly back to yesteryears, and another week where you and I saw Kevin Harvick go backwards all day long.
Yeah. I talked about it last week from the very beginning. Kevin Harvick does not do well when he starts on the pole. None of his wins last year came from his pole positions, and all nine of them came from nine of his wins came when he started off of the pole. So there's a reason they call him the closer, and we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. I have a lot more confidence in Kevin Harvick tomorrow than I think what most of the NASCAR community does. That team was bad last week, no doubt about it. But I remember last year, maybe it was the year before, it was very recently, we saw some very bad performances out of Ryan Blaney, Brad Keselowski, and Joey Logano, and it was basically they lacked the speed, which is what we saw last week with Stewart Haas. And the next week, they were spot on. So, what happened last week, I'll look at it and pass it. And the other thing to keep in mind, too, this track doesn't require as much speed as what, these 1.5 mile plus tracks do. This is more of a finesse type of track, hit your spots. And if you don't have the speed and you're a good driver of the car, you can improve that position. So, I'm a little bit higher on Stewart Haas than what other people are. And, if Kevin Harvick's bedded down, I might take advantage of that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that Kevin Harvick will race well here tomorrow. I think until I bet him to win a race, I would like to see him win one first. But if his car performs well tomorrow and the price is right, I would not mind taking a shot on him. And I guess we'll dive right into it. you and I we've basically been on the same page every single week so far this year, and that continues this week. The 4 drivers that you and I think are gonna run well are again Hendrick with Larson and Chase Elliott, and then Kyle Busch, who owns this track historically, and Kevin Harvick, who owns this track historically. I think that those are probably my 4 favorite drivers this race. You?
Definitely agree. I think one of those 4 end up winning the race. And,
Me too.
I want to continue to ride Hendrick hard because they have the fastest cars. And, I said this last week before, I'm going to say it again. Off of the hauler, when we don't have any practices or anything like that, I feel that they are the best team out there and getting their cars set up to where they need to be. So I want to keep pushing Hendrick as long as we can. And to be quite honest with you, it's a really good team from top to bottom.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Will Byron has been excellent. Bowman has probably been the one driver that maybe has slightly disappointed so far, but he still ran pretty good so far this year. And then obviously Elliott could have won more than that. He could have won that road course easily had his car not screwed up. And then we saw Larson so good last week. He wins. I think he's going to be super strong again. So do you. And I guess that's real quick before we move on to the picks. Penske, I said in our subscriber Discord this week the 3 matchups that I was looking at, and they were basically all fading Joey Logano and Penske. I guess I know that you like Keselowski a little more than I do this week. I probably like Blaney a little more than you do this week. But the one thing we are simpatico on is even though Joey Logano won this race last year, we feel pretty comfortable fading him tomorrow.
I think Logano is definitely of the Wood Brothers, the Penske cars, the one to target. You'll get to him later in your picks. But, I definitely think Logano, I think of him as more of a speed type of driver. And his finesse is here and there. But that's why I kind of, tend more to like Keselowski this race. Because he's more of a finesse, strategy type of driver. I think the track fits his style much better than Logano. And, that's why I'm not as high on Blaney, as what, maybe you are. Because I don't think Blaney has that finesse. I think he's learning it and he's getting better. It showed by his results at some of these tracks that require more high tire wear and management. But I still think he's a little ways off.
Yeah, I agree. I agree completely. All right, so to hop into the picks, I am not going to give an outright winner pre-race. I'll do the majority of my betting live, but the 3 drivers I like the most are definitely Kyle Larson, Chase Elliott, and Kyle Busch. If I was going to add a 4th, it would probably be Harvick. But the 2 picks that I'm going to give out are the 2 matchups that I like fading Joey Logano. I think Kyle Busch is going to run well here. I got him at -110 over Logano. Right now, it's currently -115. I don't mind that price. The extra nickel is okay. Anything more than that, though, I would be a little skeptical. And then I have Kyle Larson over Joey Logano at -109. I like both of those plays a lot. Those are going to be the 2 picks that I sent to the sheet. And the rest I will probably live bet from there, even though Coop and I will be on tomorrow 45 minutes before the race. If we see anything else that we like, we'll jump on it then. but those are going to be the two matchups that I'm going to go with this week. Coop, talk to me. Who you like?
No, I really like those two. You didn't mention it, but one of the better reasons I do like that too is the starting positions of Larson and Busch versus Logano. I've already talked about starting position and track placement, is important here. And they're going to be up there, whereas Logano is going to have to fight to get up there. And, Larson, he has a sneaky, really good track record here. I really like Larson tomorrow. So, but where I'm going to go is we were talking about it earlier with Hendrick Motorsports and them being very strong out of the bat. And I'm going to stick with Will Byron. He's in a matchup with Ryan Blaney, and he's getting plus 100 to Blaney's minus 125. So in the head-to-head matchup, the books really don't like the two. But if you look at all the other betting matchups, whether it be outright winner, top 5, top 10, Brian Blaney is right in front of William Byron. And there's not much difference between the two when you look at all of the other options to bet the two. Both of them have very good track history here as far as finishing in the top 10. I just prefer the momentum that Byron is on. And I think the upswing is going to take him there. Plus, I also like getting the points in a matchup that I consider to be, even to perhaps one that I think might favor Byron, because I think his driving style fits a little bit better than Blaney when we come to these specialty type of tracks.
Yeah, I agree completely. So did you give out a pre-race winner?
I'm not going to do that. I like Larson, but I also like Chase Elliott a lot too.
Me too, buddy. Me too.
I might go back to the well. We'll have to think about it and sleep on it with Hendrick Motorsports.
Oh yeah, yep. So, last week we had him at plus 275. They got the job done.
Yep. So, might go back to the well on that one because I think there are 2 of the 3 or 4 drivers I think that could win this race, barring, some craziness, shenanigans, here and there at the end. Chase dominated this race last year twice. Unfortunately, he had some issues at the end that took him away.
All right, boys. That's it. Couple matchups to get you going early. And then obviously Coop and I will be on tomorrow about 45 minutes before the race starts. And we'll do what we do. We're up 80 units in a month on that show on Sundays. And we'll keep it rolling from there. So for Coop, for myself, we'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Later.